A Grim Lavamancer. Unfortunate. Oh, no. Oh, darn it, folks. We grabbed the wrong one. Greetings, everyone. I am glad that you are here, and I am glad to be here. We're back in Historic for today's jank, and yeah, this list might look a little familiar to those of you who are familiar with the channel. A while back, when a lot of these cards were still in Standard, I had this deck put together for, you know, kicks and giggles or whatever, and the stream really liked it. But honestly, the community's grown a fair amount since then, and a lot of you folks never even got to see our Divine Visitation deck. There's also been a few cards added to the format there are some cards that Historic adds to this deck that would not have been in our standard version. So we're going to give the YouTube a chance to see this and probably get a chance to play it on stream, because I'm not going to lie, I did have a wonderful time playing this deck when it was in standard. So what are we talking about here? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Divine Visitation. If one or more token creatures you are created under your control, create that many 4/4 angel creature tokens with flying and vigilance instead. So, first and foremost, multiple Divine Visitations do not stack. You still only get one angel per token, no matter how many Divine Visitations you have out. So, you don't want to draw too many. That's why you'll note we're building around this card, but only have 2 in the list. I've tried many, many versions of this, and I have built Divine Visitation decks with 4 Divine Visitations, and it's not where you want to be. It winds up not performing as well as you would hope. So I think it's better to build the deck with like 2 of them and pray you get it, because you do want one, but you really don't want 2. They don't get removed very often, and they're really, really bad in multiples. So that said, beyond Divine Visitation, we have Anointed Procession, one of the key cards that would have been absent in our standard version of this. We built it, I don't know, it was probably last June or something like that. If an effect would create 1 or more tokens under your control, it creates twice that many instead. So just doubles up all the tokens you make. Yes, that does work with Divine Visitation. These are obviously tokens. So you can create a whole bunch of angels instead of just 1 angel per token, right? These ones, though, they do stack. So multiple Anointed Processions do double and double and double. So if you have a Legion's Landing, it would come in, create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. If you have an Anointed Procession, you get 2 1/1 lifelink creatures. If you have 2 Anointed Processions, 1 is doubled to 2, and then 2 is doubled to 4. Yeah, it does do that. So then, theoretically, if you had all 3 Anointed Processions on the battlefield, you could have your 1 Legion's Landing come down to create a 1/1. That would be doubled to 2. That would be doubled to 4. That would be doubled to 8 as well. So yes, this can get out of hand, and yes, we've pulled off some of these shenanigans on the channel before, abusing Anointed Procession, but not with Divine Visitation, at least not for the YouTube. So what are the other cards we've got supporting this deck? Well, a fairly generic Boros token plan. Legion's Landing I've referenced a number of times, but there's also Raise the Alarm and Forbidden Friendship. There is also Legion Warboss. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 goblin that gains haste and attacks this turn if able. Not each turn, but this turn. It also does have Mentor, so if this card is not answered, it will take over the game on its own, with or without Anointed Processions or Divine Visitations, right? We then have, rounding out our token package, Young Pyromancer, just as a 2 of, because we needed a little control as well. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, create a 1/1 elemental. And of course, we actually have a fair number of instants and sorceries. 4 in Bonecrusher Giant here, 4 Abrades, 8 between Raise the Alarm and Forbidden Friendships, and then we also have the 3 Spikefield Hazards as well. So there are kind of quite a few, but not, you know, there's not a lot. So I think 2 is fine. Then the only other token producer here is the 2 of Outlaws Merriment, which is very, very good in controlling style matchups or really slow, grindy games. Creating tokens every single turn is great there. It's even better if they're 4/4 flying vigilances, right? So, all those things being said, the only other cards we really haven't talked about too much is just the controlling package, the Abrades. There is the Mud deck, or Mono Brown deck, if you prefer. That's just all artifacts, right? Colorless and stuff. So Abrade, very, very important there, but also very good in creature-based matchups in general. Rogues, that sort of thing. Goblins can matter. This can't go to the face, so it's not reach, but I think the destroy target artifact side of it is very important. Bonecrusher Giant gives us a little versatility, is both a shock and a creature as well, particularly for blocking things like questing beasts and stuff like that. Sometimes you just need that 4th power. Very important. And of course, Spikefield Hazard, good for the fact that it's a land drop, can make it up to our Divine Visitation should we draw it and not have the mana to cast it, but also does hit 1 toughness creatures with alacrity, and there are quite a few. Very important to bolt the birds, so to speak. So Llanowar Elves needs to go. Lotus Cobra that might follow it the next turn. Young Pyromancers as well. There is the Black-Red Rakdos Sacrifice deck that sees some play. Things like that. Spikefield Hazard, actually pretty relevant on top of also being a land drop. Speaking of the lands, it is just a 24 land deck. But that's because it is inflated somewhat by these Spikefield Hazards. That does make it up to like a 27 land deck, which I think is good. Keeping in mind that we will flip Legion's Landing at a greater rate than most decks will, because we have so many token producers. Attacking with 3 creatures is often not real challenging. So, if we flip Legion's Landing, and we've had access to our Spikefield Hazard, somehow, like, you know, our 24 land deck is now a 31 land deck, right? So I don't think we want more lands than that, even though we are trying to cast some 5-drop Divine Visitations. But we'll see. Without further ado, though, how about we see some games, shall we? Oh boy, folks. Here we are up against Ezekiel Khan. And, I mean, I guess I'm going to keep it. I really love Anointed Procession, and they're very good in multiples. We only have 3 because we don't want to see too many of them, but darn it, it's really hard to turn down a hand with 2 in it. So we're gonna keep it. Probably regret our decision. We do have lots and lots of token makers, though. So we have the support cards. We have a little control. I think, you know, we've got to give it a try. Our opponent did mulligan to 5, so that's very relevant here. We likely will need our opponent to have mulliganed pretty heavily, because, oh boy. I guess let's just Clifftop Retreat here. We can leave up both, nope, Raise the Alarm and Abrade. I think both of those are pretty good to be able to cast here. Opponent chooses not to attack with Vicious Conquistador. Lets a Godless Shrine enter tapped. It becomes our turn, so we're just going to go ahead and pop down a Raise the Alarm. Yeah, let this enter tapped. We are going to go ahead and flip the Legion's Landing. Oh, well, that's true. Darn it. That was a little bit of a punt, folks. I think we were supposed to pay the 2 life here so we could make an extra creature. I think that would have been better by quite a bit. But it's all right. All right, indeed. Opponent casts a Sorin. Going to put down a Vampire from hand. It's a Champion of Dusk. So we're going to Abrade the Vicious Conquistador in response. So the opponent only draws just a single card. Don't want them to be able to unmulligan themselves if we can avoid it. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and Anointed Procession. Get down a Needleverge Pathway. We are going to go after Sorin here. That card gets out of hand in a hurry. It does cost us our token, which we're not thrilled about. But with an untapped land, we get to both Anointed Procession and Forbidden Friendship. Without one, we still just Anointed Procession and pass, I think. Oh boy. Yes. Please. Yeah, I think that's okay. I think we'll, I think that's an alright turn, particularly against our poor opponent, Ezekiel or Ezekiel Khan, who mulliganed to 5 already. They're definitely behind, and this was a very, very powerful thing to be up to. Opponent very carefully evaluating their options. Oh, my word. Yeah, let's go ahead and attack. I mean, I can't imagine our opponent has too much removal and stuff. Yeah, we're just going to get down on Outlaws Merriment. All these tokens have haste. So, yes, we could have made some creatures with either the Castle Ardenvale or, more preferably, the Adanto Vanguard. They're basically the same, only this one has lifelink, right? But the fact that these have haste, we're really not that concerned about our opponent attacking us here. So, all right, opponent leaves back Sky Marcher Aspirant, goes up to 8. Yep. Blood Chief's Thirst, a single token. Fair enough. All right. Yeah, that's a lot of direct damage there. And we're going to go ahead and get in. Good game, Ezekiel Khan. Good game. Opponent definitely made a run at it, even though they did mulligan to 5. So huge props there. I do think we were pretty well aligned there either way. But good game, good game. All right, folks. Oh, my word. We absolutely should not keep this. It is a mistake to keep this. Anyone in their right mind looking to win any number of games of Magic would not keep this. But I'm absolutely keeping this because we have some interaction. We have both Anointed Procession and Divine Visitation. Like, what more can a guy ask for? And sure enough, a token producer does arrive, which is very nice indeed. Oh boy, that's another Anointed Procession. We do need to draw some lands, folks. That would be nice. Brineborn Cutthroat, sure. Alright, gonna kill that fella, make a 1-1, pass the turn. Opponent clearly on, like, is it tempo? So, I mean, I'm not excited about this, because it's almost certainly gonna get counterspelled, but it does allow us to attack with our creatures. That's why we're doing it pre-combat. Are they just going to bounce something? Oh, my word. Okay. Opponent has a Brineborn Cutthroat and an Opt. Sure. Opts again, but of course, the Brineborn Cutthroat does not get counters on Anonym's turn. Has a Brazen Borrower, okay. That is really annoying. Does not attack, though. Yeah, let's just get another Anointed Procession down here. We're expecting a Spell Pierce, I think. Wow, they didn't do it. Our opponent's decisions are very perplexing to me. I really don't know what's going on over there, I guess. Maybe they just have a bunch more bounce spells, I guess. An untapped land would be great, because then we could Anointed Procession and also Abrade. And that would be a wonderful, wonderful thing. Opponent has another has an Into the Royal. Sure. Okay. Yeah, this makes sense. Well, okay. That's not terrible. So let's do these things. Our opponent is already tapped out, so yeah, we now get to make 2 1-1s, which is very nice. take most of our opponent's power off the board, and get in for 2, which is quite relevant. They did get to draw a card off of the Into the Royal, which is annoying for us, but fine. Keep in mind, though, we get to Castle Ardenvale and make tokens as well. Wow, more Into the Royal? That is very annoying, folks. Very annoying indeed. Alright, let's go ahead and attack. See what our opponent has to say. Just gonna take all of it? Alright, fine. Well, then let's not disappoint. We're gonna run out Anointed Procession. We have mana for soft counters now. Yeah. Okay. Jwari Disruption, not gonna get us, folks. Not gonna get us at all. We'd really like an Abrade or something like that, so that next turn we can both Divine Visitation and instant or sorcery. Abrade, Bonecrusher Giant, anything. Oh, okay, Forbidden Friendship. That's a great one. Do you have a counterspell for Divine Visitation opponent? Brineborn Cutthroat. That's not a counterspell, but that doesn't mean they don't have one. It is an Ionize. How annoying. Well, alright. Fine. Then let's just Forbidden Friendship here. Alright, we're getting in for a whole bunch of damage. Opponent drops to 9. We will absolutely be willing to trade a couple of tokens away with this Brineborn Cutthroat, should they come to combat. As expected, they do not. Another Anointed Procession. What say you, opponent? A Spectral Sailor. Sure. That's fine. Opponent draws a card immediately. Nope, no counterspell. Abrade. And yeah, our opponent says, no, we're done here, folks. We're done here. And good game, opponent. Good game. It was an honor. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are up against Manmeat Hut. Good luck, Manmeat Hut. And yeah, they're playing Obosh, which implies some kind of very aggressive burn strategy or something, so we have a bunch of ways of making a bunch of dudes, so let's hang on to it. A Grim Lavamancer. Unfortunate. Oh, no! Oh, darn it, folks. We grabbed the wrong one. That very well may cost us the game, folks. Not gonna lie. Wow. It doesn't. They don't have a land? Oh, my word. That is glorious. I mean, horrible. Very bad luck for our opponent. I'm so sorry, opponent. Everything's sad and terrible and things. Yeah. Let's see. Trying to decide how to go about this. I think it's just... yeah, just Forbidden Friendship. I think we're going to get in for 1. This is fine. Gives us a blocker. Next turn, we can both Legion's Landing and hold up Castle Ardenvale. Opponent has a Wayward Guide Beast. That's annoying. Yep. Opponent gets to pick their land right back up, which, when your opponent's on, you know, 1 land, it would normally be a bad thing, but this is kind of a good thing for them, right? It lets them spend that 1 mana twice. Sure enough, they, wow, light up the stage again and no lands. Holy cow, folks, that is just abysmal for them. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and stomp the Wayward Guide Beast. Not going to think twice about it. Not even... yeah, not a second thought. Don't want them being able to spend that 1 mana extra times, right? Alright, finally, a land comes off the top. Fanatical Firebrand coming on down. We will trade with the 1/1 if they just attack normally. Yep. Oh, you got it. Don't want them to be able to skewer the critics and whatnot. Sure. So, as expected, they just use their Infuriate, but it's fine. This is... all of this is to be expected. So, okay. We're going to continue trying to capitalize on our current advantage. It's, we're just going to get in. One damage going straight to the face. Skewer the critics going straight to the face. And a shot going at our Legion Warboss. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, these things are all okay with us. Yeah, we're just going to take this opportunity to get down an Anointed Procession. Our opponent's on 2 lands, 2 cards in hand, and an Obosh that's not likely to ever come down this game. So being able to make a couple of tokens, they could easily, if we slam another Legion Warboss, they very likely even have a burn spell either on top of their library or in hand. So I don't think... Right. Opponent. Thinking about it. Trying to decide what to do here. I don't know what the thought process is. Presumably about going to our face or going to our creatures, but I don't think there's any question about it. They need to go after our creatures. They have to slow this game down if they ever have a chance of winning. And 1 damage to the face can matter, but is unlikely to, given, you know, the number of cards they have in their hand and stuff. Yeah, so this might seem a little odd, folks, but we're just going to get down a Bonecrusher Giant. This last card in hand is a little suspicious. I'm thinking it might have been a shock or something like that. So the fact that we are still adding 4 power to the board this turn, getting in for another 1, if they ever go to kill it, it's going to be damage-based removal. It's, you know, going to deal 2 damage to them. Otherwise, they have to trade and stuff. Like, this kind of seals the deal. It would have been more fun, I think, probably to maybe Legion Warboss here, but I don't think it was really the right play. And as a matter of fact, whatever it is we did, our opponent did concede. So good game, opponent. Good game. All right, folks, we're back here having a look at this deck one more time. Yeah, honestly, I'm not going to lie. I had a blast. It was a lot of fun to play. It's one of the reasons I wanted to build it again. I had a great time when it was in Standard. Similar to when it was in Standard. I don't know that there's any way to ever build this card to have it be an actual Tier 1 style strategy or something. Okay, I'm certain there's not to be a Tier 1 style strategy. I'm pretty skeptical that this could ever be an actual tier strategy. I don't know that there's a way of building this deck involving Divine Visitation where you think to yourself, I want to bring this to a tournament, right? I don't think that's where we're at here. I think this is, though, a deck that you can do pretty well with. I think there's plenty of fun to be had just blasting away, making a million tokens, and attacking in with them. You will note, one of the things that I'm almost certain to get to have people talk about is, well, shoot, man, where's all your Anthem effects? Of course, that word, the Anthem, derives from Glorious Anthem. This card's kind of been around for ages, just got reprinted again this year. Creatures you control get 1/1. These effects are insanely powerful, folks, particularly for token strategies. When you give a 5/5 +1/+1 becomes a 6/6. Okay, yes, a 6/6 is better than a 5/5, no question about that. But that's only giving it, like, whatever, 20% more power, right? If you give a 1/1 +1/+1, you are giving it 100% more power and toughness, right? So when you make When you have a 5/5 and it becomes a 6/6, you probably only have one 5/5, or you're probably winning anyway, and why are we talking about it, right? No, but if you have that same 5 power and 5 toughness, instead of it being on one creature, so instead of a 5/5, you have 5 1/1s, and then you play Glorious Anthem, instead of having 6 power and 6 toughness, like you would have if your 5/5 had Glorious Anthem, we now have 10 power and toughness, right? So Anthem effects are very, very powerful effects in general, and this is no exception. Token strategies are one of the places they excel the most. The reason they're not here is because we shouldn't need them. We can go wide enough with specifically Anointed Procession, or make our creatures large enough with Divine Visitation that giving them +1/+1 isn't a big deal. In sense, specifically, Divine Visitation is the card we're looking to play. That's why. Now, I apologize, folks. We played quite a few games. I even played more than we're going to show here. And it turns out I couldn't get Divine Visitation on the board and have it, you know, and have it do anything in all the games we played for this deck. So for that, I really do apologize. I wanted to showcase this card and we didn't get to see it. What I can tell you is I have a Twitch channel. And this deck will be going up, you know, today, right? At whatever, 2:15. Our videos always go up at like 2:15 Central. Which means at 6 p.m. Central, I'm going to be streaming this deck. Come on down. I'm going to stream this deck for like 4 straight hours because we stream 6 to 10, right? So, holy crud. If you want to see some Divine Visitation, it's going to happen on the stream at the very least, right? So come on down. You'll love it, I'm sure. And to be flatly honest, I'd love to have you. I like hanging out with you folks. I like getting to know you folks. I know, you know, we're a smaller channel and things like that. But, and I don't know how to be a big channel. I don't know how to have 10,000 viewers or whatever. I know how to have friends, and I like making more of them. So come on out. I'd love to get to know you. I'd also appreciate if you hit the subscribe button and the like button and all that kind of junk. But more importantly than all that kind of junk is if you do see something in this list, Divine Visitation isn't a brand new card. It's been around for a while. You likely have maybe even fooled around with it yourself. If you have some cards you feel like, no, listen, this card really helps Divine Visitation, make sure to let me know in the comments. I read these comments. Not only do I read them, I typically respond to them, but I take feedback from this and then I add it to the deck for the time we stream. Now, it's true, I don't take every piece of advice or whatever, but I do look at them, I do think about them, and I do, you know, really consider all the different comments you guys give us. So, went a little long on the outro, but I would like to say one last thing. So I appreciate you watching. I'd like to see you later. So, catch you then.